Now, bad infrastructure has been a nightmare for the people even as the city keeps growing by the day. Accidents due to bad road and footpath has become a common phenomenon here in the city. Now, one can hold the civic body responsible and even seek compensation. But is this feasible? What do you need to do to seek compensation? And what do RWA civic activists have to say regarding this? Is there a legal loophole to claim compensation? We will answer all of these questions for you in this report.
The BBMP on Wednesday scrambled to put out a public notification informing citizens they can claim compensation for loss or damage caused by footpaths and roads after being pulled up by the High Court of Karnataka.
Bad infrastructure in the city and people pay the price for the same. Now, the civic body BBMP itself can pay the price for you. How? We will tell you. BBMP scrambled to put out a notice in the major newspapers in the city, and this is what they put out. It states that now the citizens of Bengaluru are liable to get a compensation if they are to suffer any kind of loss or damage due to the poor condition of a road or footpath. And that is quite here mentioned clearly, reasonable compensation which will be decided by the BBMP. Furthermore, it is subject to the necessary documentation. Evidence needs to be provided by the complainant, and further the next final step is that it is subject to the final orders of the Supreme Court. If our citizen does pass all of these steps, then the complainant, the person seeking the compensation, probably can get something for their loss and damage. This is a long drawn out process, and already several have expressed their concern about the same. Now, as of now, BBMP is still framing the rules for the same. It needs to be seen what will happen in the future.
According to the latest advertisement put out by the BBMP, people can now claim compensation for having suffered losses due to bad infrastructure maintained by the civic bodies. This is in line with the orders of the High Court of Karnataka, which took the BBMP's case for not publicizing it enough. The compensation clause has existed for a while now, but a handful of people may know about it. A few people on social media are now digesting the new fact, while many remained unaware.
Nobody aware of that rule, right? So that's where the problem. If the people know that the rule is there, definitely will go and claim that.
But the BBMP, they will not provide any compensation. They will give only assurance. We are providing, we are claiming this. A lot of people are suffering. But nobody will, BBMP members or BBMC, whatever it may be, they will not take any action against us.
I don't know actually about this. There should be an awareness going ahead, because the people we are working in software or something don't know about this. We will be working in the company and just going to the home and just sleeping there.
I'm not aware yet, but I usually don't, I'm not very active in terms of reading rules about the city. But usually what happens is that it's a long process, right? And we are so caught up with doing whatever we want to do in our life, get on with the work, that then we just let it be.
I think in the first place they should give a lot of publicity, awareness to the public that they are eligible for this kind of compensation. Only then the people will go to the authorities in case of any emergency or any accidents.
Well, it is quite convenient for the civic body. Since the awareness program has now begun, let us look at how a person can seek compensation.
One who is making this application to the BBMP saying that because of some of your fault, I sustained an injury, has to bring out in detail what is the extent of loss suffered, damage suffered, and what is that he claims. Now let us imagine somebody in a given situation claims 10 lakh rupees of compensation from BBMP. They have to first, of course, it is very difficult to expect from a person who is injured to gather evidence. So as soon as possible, let us imagine a situation of a pothole fall. So immediately click a picture, you can immediately seek redressal before the court. Now if it is a case of compensation for civil damages, for damages to the life, of course there are specific acts. Like in case, see, there are so many accidents which you can now, the Supreme Court has held that you can bring under the purview of the motor vehicles compensation.
A person can seek compensation from an authority when it is at fault, and it exists in various acts. While it is difficult at the time to gather evidence that supports a claim that civic body is at fault, it is detrimental. A picture of the incident can be useful. The claim can be made directly to the BBMP. After asserting whether the claim is genuine or not, the BBMP will compensate the victim. And in case the civic body refuses, the victim can approach a judicial civil court. The long drawn-out process can deter a person from seeking compensation. However, the rules are still being framed by the civic body.
We have to frame the rules for that. The rules and how much of compensation has to be paid has to be still determined. Once the rules are framed and then the compensation amount determined, then only the actual payments will come in.
While the BBMP is yet to frame rules on the same, it seems like it is even unaware that compensation like this has existed in the law books for a while now. It needs to be seen whether BBMP remains sincere in its duty or makes citizens run from pillar to post for compensation. Amrita for News 9, Bengaluru.